Yo guys, Aurelios here, back on my YouTube channel for another making of video. Today we'll go deeper into the project of my track Ven Pa Ca out on Spectrum Recordings together with Dennis Cartier. You can actually find all the links in my descriptions for streaming it or saving it in your playlist, so make sure to check it out and let's dive straight into the project. Okay, as always the project looks a bit a mess, but I'll start directly with the vocal.
Ay muchacho, qué bonito que te veo.
I took the vocal from Splice. As you can see, it's a full wet vocal, so I didn't process it a lot since it was already wet. Maybe only this sort of EQ just to remove some annoying frequencies. Usually there are not a lot of annoying frequencies in the mids, low mids, but in this case I felt like the vocal was a bit boomy. So I just removed this part and I cut, of course, the low end. Then I also took the guitar from Splice, probably the same sample pack, because of course, as you can see, are basically they have the same name. So yeah, I took both samples from the same sample pack. I just cut this part because I felt like it didn't fit a lot with the vibes of the track, so I just kept the first part. Actually, the guitar is a bit processed. It was like kind of already processed, but didn't sound as I wanted. So let's hear how it sounded before the processing without any plugin. You can hear that doesn't sound real good, like it lacks of some high frequencies. So what I've done there, I added some EQ, low cut, and I put some mid highs, maybe more mid and some highs. Then I had an OTT multiband compression. Then I added this one. Let's put here in the voice vocals, but I felt like I took a preset and then I tweaked it a bit, but yeah, I mean, it sounded really better with this one. You can already hear that it's really way better. Then I had this Pro Q. I removed some eyes, probably there were some clicks, so I didn't like a lot of them. So I just cut some high hand. Then I removed some annoying frequencies, probably some resonance around 2000 Hz and 200 Hz, and then again another low cut, and then these two plugins just for automation. But let's switch and let's see how it sounded before and after the processing. Really way better. About the bass, actually I created a bass like following the chords of the guitar, the main guitar, and I took the bass, I guess it's from Nexus, yeah, Nexus 3. It's called Drone Neverland, and it sounds pretty cool. It's like kind of wrist bass. Didn't add a lot of stuff. This guitar, I guess it's just for automation. Yeah, exactly, it's for an automation, and also this EQ for automation. Then the break drums are some loops that I made by myself for our signature sound together with Dennis Cartier. So I just aim to use always same sounds when I collab with Dennis. And in fact, you can notice same drums also on Voy Bailar or the Anita bootleg of the Trumpet and Armin van Buuren. Same drums, basically same drums in the break, and then the drop real similar. Here I added this kind of ambience. Like it helps to fill the empty space and just to make sure that the track sounds really full. And I just equalize it a bit, just cut some mids, low mids, and I boost around 5 kHz. And then I added this quick has just to put in stereo, just get the effect, the Haas effect into this ambience, so it sounds pretty cool. And then the string all together sound like this.
Ay muchacho, qué bonito que te veo. Yo quisiera confesarte que te quiero.
Then in the second part, it's like the transition between the break and the build-up. And in this part, I felt like I needed to change something. And I added this new loop that it's a sort of a melodic loop. I guess I took it from Splice as well. It sounded really similar to the final result of the loop. I mean, after the before and after processing, and I just added some EQ, cutting the low hand, the OTT, and then as a reverb, I added this one. I guess there's a lot of reverb actually, and it's not automated, so it's really like it's real wet. It's supposed to sound more in stereo instead of sounding in mono, and sound like this. All together with the other elements. Then on this part, like in the build-up, I started to introduce the trumpet, which is the main element of the track, with the vocal and the guitar. Actually, for this trumpet, I used a Cashmere trumpet. The original one is the Cashmere Trumpet 07. I was trying to make the same melody of the vocal with the trumpet, and I felt like the VST, I actually could do that with VST, but it didn't sound really well. So I actually thought that the best option was to take a real trumpet. So why not a Kashmir sample pack? You can find a lot of real good real samples, and I actually chopped it up and I came up with this results. Okay, this one is the original trumpet I took from the Kashmir sample pack. I think it's the third volume. It sounds like this, so really different, of course. I just transposed it down of one semitone, and then I just loaded it down, and I had a lot of effects, as you can see. Without any effect, it would sound like this. It sounds pretty cool, but it wasn't what I was looking for. As you can see, as a first plugin, I added a decapitator with punish on. The punish is like an extra distortion, and it's pretty hard distortion, but as you can see there, there's the mix knob like almost 100% dry. Even if it's not, it's like some just 3% of the mix knob. Then we have always the OTT. You need always to use the OTT on your instruments. Then I added this Pro Q. There were a lot of resonances on this trumpet, and it's quite common since like trumpet or any other instruments has a lot of resonances, so you do need to do this. Not always, of course, also because of course the trumpet sample was already processed, so I didn't need to add a lot of processing on it, so just this thing. Then I added the Pictec. I just boost the highs a lot, as you can see, but boosting and attenuating at the same time, it could be even way better. And as you can see, I boost around 12 kilohertz. Then I added this plugin, which is sort of sidechain reverb. Then I added some Walhalla room. This one is not sidechain, but as you can see, it's just to make some room. And then the other two plugin are just for automations and kickstart as sidechain. So let's see how it sounds like processed. Like some notes are really slowed down, like it's weird, of course, but if I take only one note as I did there, and also on this one, you can get a really cool result. For the trumpet, I actually used another layer, and it's actually another sample, and basically, as you can hear, this one is completely in stereo, like it has only some frequencies, not all the spectrum enabled, and then an OTT. Valhalla room, this time a bit more because I just like wanted to fill the stereo field, so it makes sense to add more reverb. And then I had the doubler where I removed the direct source, but I have the panned ones, so the left and right, and so it will sound completely in stereo. Then in the drop I had again same guitars of the break, same processing. Here I had also sidechain, of course, and I duplicated that. I just moved it a bit, as you can see, because of course they can sound a bit in stereo. In fact, this one is completely in stereo, just sound all in this range of frequencies. And then I had an OTT and a quick as well, just to get the guitar more in stereo. And as you can hear, like this one sounds more in mono, since it's more in center, and this one like more in the side. So the main groove comes from the drums and the bass. These are our signature drums with Dennis Cartier. These are the drums that we use on our collab, like we did in Buildup, as I told you before. And that's how it sounds. Altogether, it's a really cool drum loop, and we have this kick. This kick has actually included the sort of hi-hat. It's like even puncher. This clap, that it's a really cool clap. We do love both and this clap, so we always use it. And basically this drop loop as well, has been made by ourselves. With the bass, all sounds like this. This actually is the sub bass, which sounds pretty cool. I added some distortion with a British clean and some transient master to reduce some sustain. I can actually fix that from the length of note, but in this case I felt like the transient master helped me to get what I wanted. It already sounds good, but I had another layer of bass. This is a top bass. I always use the Nexus 3 for this one. But it sounds pretty cool to give like more hard tech to the bass, especially to the sub bass. The sub bass has a really nice body, but I feel like it lacks of attack, and they both sound really good together. I moved, as you can see, the low end, and I had some sidechain, and altogether sounds like this. Also this one that I took from Buildup. I exported the stem of Crash and some other things, and I used also on this track. Then there's also this one that it's pretty cool. It's a treble vocal sort of shout that I used on the pre-drop as a pre-drop fill. You can barely hear that, but it sounds pretty cool. I don't know why, but it fits almost an heavy drop. Like, also I used it for Buildup and also in the Anita's bootleg. Sounds pretty cool. Don't ask me why. And then I use these atmospheres to fill up the empty space in the background, especially in the background, and they are of course in stereo. There I had these weird automations, but it's for the panning, as you can hear with headphones if you're wearing headphones. Altogether sounds like this. Here I had also a backing vocal, always for the same reason of atmospheres. Sounded pretty cool, so yeah, I think it was worth to add some new elements just to keep it interesting. In the second part of the drop, I just make this a transition because I added also the vocal, but I added again this loop that I use in the break, this bell loop, and here again I added some string, and this I think it's a right loop. Makes like left and right, and that's again the vocal.
muchacho guapo, ven pa' acá, ven pa' acá.
So like the vocal is again the main element of the drop, and in fact you can notice that the trumpet is not the main element in the second part because there's the vocal. So I just got some high frequencies from the trumpet. As you can see, I added a filter and cutting of course the high hand of the trumpet, and as you can hear there, you can notice that I'm just leaving some space to the high hand of the vocal, so that's the reason why I added this filter. Then in the second break I just added some more drum loops. This one I took from Splice. It's like a sort of merengue loop, drum loop, but it sounded pretty cool. This one with shakers. We have this percussion loop. Okay, we had the end of this video. I hope you learned something new from this new making of. Let me know down in the comments if you have any question. You can also hit me up on Instagram. Don't forget to check out my track Ven Pa Ca with Dennis Cartier with links in the description, and don't forget to follow me on all socials. See you soon guys, bye.